So, all right, so talking about the DTM, this is like what we're mostly going to focus on today. We're just going to kind of go through each stage and look at a case study for each one. So essentially what the DTM is, this is the demographic transition model. It's doing a few things and it's specifically not doing a few things. Okay, so the DTM will tell you the birth rate and the death rate based on like historical trends and economic development. So all these stages are referring to like where a country would be in their population growth as it relates to economic growth, essentially, right? So we're looking specifically at kind of like a history of trends. It's not, it doesn't tell you the length of each stage, right? Like there's a lot of reasons why a country goes from stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4. Some countries spend longer in each stage than others. Some have moved quickly. It doesn't tell us the length. It doesn't tell us why. It also doesn't take into account migrations. So even though a country might be on this graph having like a population that's steady, they might actually be increasing their population because of migrations. So this doesn't take that into account at all. So it's important to know, what information you get from this and then what information you don't. So just to explain through the lines here. So the yellow one is referring to birth rate, right? So this is just the actual number of people that are being born. The green line is death rate, right? And so then this in between here, this would be your natural increase, right? So it's to figure out the natural increase. Does anyone know the actual, let's see. Does anyone know what's the formula for natural increase rate? What unit is the y-axis in? The y-axis is in, I'm not even sure. I think it's in, I'm not sure the exact numbers. I think it might be millions, but I think ultimately it's just number of people, right? So you don't need to know the actual numbers of people, but number of people, and this is showing the different stages. And then the blue one is the actual total population, right? So, an overall look of this is that in a country that goes through these stages, the birth rate and the death rate start out high. They both will eventually decrease. Once they decrease, that's when population goes up. Right, that's kind of like your overall explanation. All right, and so let's go through each stage. And so we'll talk about each stage, and then we'll talk about an example of each one. And just remember, any questions you have, pop them in the questions.